So welcome. My name is Forrest out in St. Louis. The purpose of this webinar is to go through and show you how to complete and win a prop firm funded challenge for $100,000. And I'm going to go over some other options available as well, but I'm going to walk through this for those of you that are, if you're watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn or anywhere else out there on the internet. Feel free to connect with me. My contact information should be below the video here, so you can reach out and ask any questions. If you do shoot me a text and I don't know who you are and I don't have you in my phone, make sure you tell me who you are and ask the question, and I'll either answer it back with a text message or we'll set up a Zoom or a phone call so we can get your questions answered, so we can get that taken care of. So again, the purpose of this call is one of the things I've done. I've been just a little bit about me. I started learning how to trade about 3 years ago, April. So it's been about a little over 3.5 years ago in the training and the trading industry. Learned how to trade, fell in love with it. Absolutely cool, a lot of fun. I've had multiple different types of, if you want to call them, educators that I've sat behind. And the most recent platform that I've enrolled into has some phenomenal educators. Our stock options educator, she is a rock star. Our smart money concepts educator is an absolute rock star. We have a really, really cool platform. We have thousands of people learning how to trade, which is pretty neat. And the cool thing about it, it's ridiculously affordable to enroll and learn how to trade. So that's sort of the pitch on that. That's not what this is about, sort of, but not really, right? So one of the things that I've found in my trading journey is it's cool that we have a very affordable platform to learn how to trade on, right? To learn how to trade on. But then when it comes to money, some people are limited in money. A lot of prop firms out there. Some of them are good and some of them are not good. So the one of the prop firms that I've found is I like them, and they have a lot of credibility because they created their own trading software that they actually use and sell to companies. So they're not just getting fees from people to go through the prop firm challenge. They actually have a software that they sell to brokers to use their software to trade with, which is a really cool source of revenue. And again, I don't work for the company. I have an affiliate agreement with them, which is pretty neat. So when I refer somebody, just transparent disclaimer, when somebody refers and signs up with a challenge using my link, I get a little commission for it, yay, and I'll take that all day long. But primarily the purpose of this, right, is so that if somebody like, Carlotta or Dennis or Deborah or somebody like that, or Dawn that's on the Zoom right now, go through, they learn how to trade, they get the basics out of the way. But then they're looking at their checking account and saying, man, I got this money over here. It might be a nice little stack. They're thinking, man, what if I trade this and something happens and I push the wrong button or something goes awry and I lose my 401k or whatever they decide to trade with, right? Which is real. Or maybe they just don't have a lot of money. Well, the cool thing about a prop firm is that you can go in for a very small fee, right? And the funny thing about it is the fee is usually equal to what a lot of people have to start a trading account with. So it sort of offsets it. And the cool thing about the firm I'm going to show you tonight is that they have a very affordable fee to get in and take the challenge. And then when you pass the challenge, they actually give you that money back. So they create you a live account that you can trade with on their money. And I'm telling you, if you have $100,000 of someone else's money to trade with, it's very cool, all right, because I've already passed one $100,000 challenge. I'm actually working on the second one. I'm going to show you guys some of that here going forward. So said all that to say this. I'm going to walk through and just going to talk about what a prop firm is, when and where to get the trade signals to help you. And that's the other part of this. It's like, okay, I've learned how to trade, but now we've got what I call the expert traders, being able to cheat off the smart kids. And what I've done is I wanted to make it really, really easy because I have a personal mission to help 1,000 families or people, whatever you want to call it, be able to earn a 6-figure annual income trading, right? And there's all kinds of ways to do that. We got a bunch of people, matter of fact, quite a few of them on here right now are going through the stock options course with me to learn how to trade stock options, which is so cool, right? Some people learn how to trade, but they're like, oh man, I don't have the money. But my personal goal is to get everyone, when they sit down in front of their computer or their phone or however they decide to activate it, is that they have the confidence to be able to earn a minimum of at least $500 every time they trade. Now, I didn't say $500 every day. I said $500 every time they trade, whether they trade once a week, twice a week. That's a minimum, having that confidence. And one of the ways that the confidence comes, and I believe, is if they have a funded account, say a $100,000 account we're going to talk about today. They have a $100,000 account. They go in, they trade, and they practice good, proper risk management, protecting their capital. They go in with the right mindset, and they do all the right stuff. They can trade with somebody else's money, and then they take those trade ideas and those trade signals from the smart kids, because we're cheating off the smart kids, and they put those in place, and they run those. And we know the smart kids have a really, really, really good win ratio. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit as well. And they put those in a computer, they hit the button, they walk away. When the trade is done, they make a little bit of money. So again, if you don't like losing, don't trade, right? If you don't have money to lose, don't trade. This is not a get rich quick deal. It's not one of those, hey, I'm just going to do nothing deals. You've got to have some basic skills to learn how to trade. You got to learn how to enter the trades in the software, which we'll show you how to do that as well. Got to understand basic terminology, which we'll show you how to do that. So we're going to get going here. Let me go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to share my screen. If you have any questions, please just save them to the end. Save them to the end, and we'll do a quick Q&A. I don't want to keep you here all night. So let's do a screen share. Okay, so like I said, we're going to go through how to complete a $100,000 funded prop firm challenge using trade ideas and signals. We're going to talk about what is a funded account and how does it work, when and where you will receive signals, how do I manage and reduce risk and protect my capital, how do I enter trade idea signals into my trading software. And this is I'm just going to briefly go over this tonight, but this is a training that we'll actually go through once you get enrolled, and make sure everybody knows how to do that. And then I'm going to show you what's been going on since I started my most recent challenge here on August 26th. And we'll talk about the cost to get started. And I got to throw up my earnings disclaimer, which I'll just jump back over here and put on the screen. The use of our information, products, and services should be based on your own due diligence, and you agree that I am not liable for any success or failure for your trading or investing that is directly or indirectly related to the use of the information as products, services reviewed, or advertised. All information contained herein should be independently verified and confirmed. I do not accept liability for any loss or damage whatsoever caused in reliance upon such information or services. Please be aware of any risk involved with trading done in any financial market. Do not trade with money that you cannot afford to lose, or that you simply don't want to lose. Or if you don't like to lose, don't trade, right? If it gives you anxiety, don't do it, right? Trading cryptocurrencies, also called digital asset, virtual currencies, crypto assets, altcoins is also on, as well as Forex, involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for everyone. And users must be 18 years old or older. We're going to specifically be talking about trading indices, right? So we're going to be trading indices. If you don't know what that is, get off the call. You can go Google them, and we're going to jump right into this. So as I said, this is the stuff we're going to cover. So let's talk about the funded challenge. This is what a funded challenge looks like, right? And this is when you get ready to get enrolled. I'll send you my affiliate link. You can get signed up and you get rocking and rolling. You'll end up on a page like this. And there's several different levels of funded challenges that you can go with. I strongly recommend you do the $100,000 challenge. There's a big psychology behind this. There's a big mindset behind this. Just trust me, right? And I've been to the 5,000. I did the 10,000, and just trust me. You got to go with 100. If you want to go bigger to 150 or 200,000, you can. The $100,000 challenge, you can see there's a fee of $549. And like I said before, most people, when they come into the trading academy, right, which this is not, this is the funded part, is they'll have about $500 to $1,000 to start trading with. The biggest challenge is when you trade with $500 to $1,000, your trades are very small, and you're not going to trade something like the SPX 500, the S&P 500 index. You're just not going to do it. And trade a regular Forex pair, which is fine. You might be able to just pull gold out of there if you're fine and you have good risk management. So we're going to talk about this challenge. We're not going to go into every single one of these, but this is a deep dive. So how does this work, right? So when you sign up for a challenge, you have two phases, a phase 1 and a phase 2, right? You have a target profit area to earn $10,000. And I'm going to actually go through my spreadsheet and show you where I'm at since August. Now, I have some experience, disclaimer, been around the block a little bit, so I can do this. I'm pretty good. But I'm telling you, when you take these trade ideas and signals, if you follow the direction that I give you and you do what I recommend, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you follow the steps that I give you, you should be able to pass this challenge in a reasonable amount of time. The problem is most people get greedy They want the money right now. They take risks that are unnecessary. They use lot sizes, and we'll talk about those that are way too big. They take way too much risk. They try to do stuff outside of the whatever, and they end up blowing their account. So the challenge duration is you can take as long as you need to pass this challenge. You don't have to do it in 2 days. You don't have to do it in 5 days. You don't have to do it in a month. You can take literally as long as you want. You can take 2 months, 6 months, a year, however long you want, you can take, right? There's leverage, and we're not going to get into that. The minimum trading days is 1. I don't even know why they put that on there, because they have what we call a consistency rule. It's 45%. We'll talk about that. The maximum that you can lose in trading is $10,000. Now, this is weird. Somebody says, well, we'll just leave that right there. The maximum that you can lose. So if you started out with a $100,000 account, once it goes below $90,000, you fail the challenge. However, as you start to stack money on top of that $100,000, this number goes up. So it goes up, and you'll notice it says 10%. So if you had $101,000, this is going to be $10,100. So it's going to go up, right? So I'm sorry, $101,000. I can actually go up to $11,000. So it's going to go up as you increase. The same thing with your maximum daily loss. We're going to talk about this. You should come nowhere near this maximum daily loss if you're using proper risk management. You shouldn't. And I'm going to show you how to get this like way, 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 way under this when we're doing this. You can't trade on weekends. And again, this is on the regular challenge that we're looking at here, right? This is called a regular challenge. I'm not going to talk about swings or fast tracks. We're just talking about the regular, good old-fashioned challenge here, right? Profit share, you're not going to earn any money during the challenge. However, when you pass the challenge, there's an 80-20 split, which means if Dawn went out and she did a trade and she earned $1,000, she gets to keep 80% of it. 20% goes to the prop firm because you're using their money, right? Which is cool. Then there's this 45% consistency rule. I'll explain how that works. It's pretty neat. And then there's a refundable fee. So as soon as the challenge is passed, both phase 1 and phase 2, you're going to get your money refunded back to you. This fee gets refunded back to you. Then you'll get a funded account set up for you, and you're off and running. So that's how the funded challenge works. It's pretty much the same. You go to different levels. Like if you go to the $25,000 level, these numbers change a little bit, but all the rest of the stuff is basically the same, right? Your fees go down a little bit when you go to each one of the levels. So what you're going to, when and where you're going to receive signals. So signals are typically going to be received Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Well, what if I'm at work? Well, you're going to have your phone with you, right? It takes literally 15 seconds to enter a trade into your phone. It doesn't take that long. You just got to be able to be available for these. So days and times may vary. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a trade every single day, right? If nothing is posted by 10 a.m. Central on any day, there will be no trade signals given on that day. So if it doesn't get posted, you're not going to get a trade signal, and that's absolutely okay. You don't need to get them every single day. You just have to be on top of it and be ready to take the signals when they're posted, right? WhatsApp chat group. So where there will be pending orders, both buy and sell orders placed in the WhatsApp chat. We'll talk about this. We'll do some deep dive training for people going through the funded challenge so you know exactly how to do these, but there'll be a pending order for a buy and there'll be a pending order for a sell. You'll receive multiple target profit options, which means you'll see it'll be called a TP1, a TP2, might go all the way to TP6. In that choice, you get to choose which profit level you go to. I've got a really cool spreadsheet that I can share with you that you can track that stuff so that you'll know where to stay inside your profit level. So just remember that this is all up to you. Note, the TP1 is always the safest choice. Not all trades will be wins. I want everybody to just understand this. Not every trade is going to be a win. You've got to be okay with losing. Everybody that's ever heard me say this is, I'll do this. You've got to be okay with being a loser. You almost need to put on a t-shirt. I'm okay with being a loser. If you can't stand losing, don't trade. And the trade ideas through the challenge are going to be the S&P 500 or SPX 500 are the trade ideas that you're going to get in the beginning to help you pass the challenge. And the reason I'm doing that is you want to keep it very simple, non-complex. You stay focused, It makes life really easy to pass a challenge. Once we pass the challenge, there's some other stuff going on. So let's talk about this, right? This is my cool little spreadsheet that I put together. And this is some trades that I just went through the last 5 trades that set up with the S&P 500 to show you the idea. So this trade idea, and I did them backwards. I started with the most recent one. The most recent one was dropped on 9/6, which is about, and then again, they're only going to be Monday through Friday. There's no trades usually. Typically, you won't see them on Mondays, but it's usually Tuesday through Friday, sometimes Wednesday, Thursday, just depends on when they come out. But you'll see here, this particular one, it was a sell, right? It went to TP5. I didn't track my TP on here, but this is what I'm going to start doing is what I decide to take, whether I go with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The total time of this trade took a whopping 19 minutes. So it took 19 minutes to go 240 pips. The drawdown was negligible. It's under 100. And if you don't see anything in here, they're all under what we call 100 pips, or basically under 5% in drawdown. This trade, if you were trading at a 0.12 lot, if you're not sure what a lot is in Forex, go Google it and you'll have a really good explanation. But at a 0.12 lot, if you're trading, and it doesn't matter what your dollar size is, so just ignore this up here for right now. If you're trading on a lot size of 0.12 and you took this trade from the opening to the close that lasted 19 minutes and did 247 pips, you would have made $288.84. If you did a quarter of a lot, right, same exact trade, you would have made $601, half a lot, $1,203. And if you went to a one lot, you would have made $2,407. Now, the biggest challenge with this right here, and I've seen traders, is they'll take a really small account and they'll try to trade one lot, right? Try to take $1,000 account. And I don't even think a broker would let you do that because of the margin, but they're going to try to over leverage. So these numbers right here are what I recommend lot size wise based on these funded accounts up here. If this is, you can do what you want to. You can do what you want to. You can do what you want to. Totally up to you, because there's going to be people that are going to come in and say, well, I'm just going to do a half a lot on 25,000 because I would rather make $1,200 than 280. Do what you want to. Remember, on the downside, there's a loss. If that trade goes in the wrong direction and you have a lot size that's set up too big, you're going to blow your account. So I did very conservative setups on this to help you pass your account. Remember, the whole point of this webinar is to help you pass your funded account. Help you pass your funded account. Once you get your live account, you can do whatever the heck you want to. But if I was me, and I know I passed a funded account, and I just made $18,000 in 45 days or 60 days, again, don't know whatever it's going to be, right? Maybe it does, because it is 10,000 plus 8,000 is 18,000. And if you do that in 45 days, I don't think there's a person watching this video right now who wouldn't follow the exact recipe to do that every 45 days. I don't know what the math comes out to, but that's a nice little additional income on top of what you're making, right? So do what you want to in here. I will, for anybody that wants one, I'll share a copy of this so you have it, so you can fill in all the blanks and do what you need to and track all the stuff you need. You'll see pips. I'll show you how to figure out what your pips are per each trade. When you enter a trade, you close a trade, you can find this all inside the trading software. And we're going to actually dive deep. I've got this one highlighted. You'll notice I had one at 10 minutes, 19 minutes, 18 minutes, 55 minutes, and an hour and 35 minutes. Again, depending on what lot size you're at, and we're primarily focusing on the $100,000 funded account here, with a half a lot size, with a stop loss at 0.5%, that's a 0.5%, right? In this is the money that you would have earned if you took every single one of these trades and let them go to the target profits that are indicated over here at 25,000, or at at the 0.12 lot, you would have earned $1,000. At the 0.25 lot, you would have earned $2,260. At the 0.5 lot, you would have earned $4,500. And at the one lot size, you would have earned $9,000. Now, this is big boy stuff over here. If you're going to trade with one lot, again, this is Forrest recommendation. You can do what you want to. If you want to go stupid crazy, I've seen some guys come in and do a 10 on this, right? And I'm just like, and of course, if you did 10, that would be $24,000. You can do what you want to. You're adults. I'm just recommending that if you're going to do this, be conservative, right? Because I have a strange feeling that most people watching this, they don't make $2,400. Some people don't make $2,400 in a month, right? So just be aware that this is really nice money here. So again, just looking at this, this is over the last 5 trades. I'm not going to go into this. I recommend not every trade is going to be a win. There's some drawdowns. You'll notice in the drawdown side, like I said before, the drawdowns are typically right at under 5%. So a drawdown under 5% is absolutely awesome. Some of them are very, very, very little drawdown. This one had 145 pips, or basically a 0.67% drawdown. I'm going to explain that. If you would have set this trade up based on these guidelines here at 0.5% for a stop loss, this would not be a win right here. This would have ended up being a loss. I just wanted to be transparent on this. This would have ended up being a loss. However, Forrest, because I can do this and I can sit in front of my computer and I can watch trades and I understand what a negligible loss is, I can watch trades move, and I have a mental stop loss set to if a trade gets to a certain dollar amount, I can hit the close button on it and I don't have to worry about this. But for you guys, I'm telling you, you want to set a stop loss at 0.5%, because the rest of these would have been wins, which is fine. And you wouldn't be that far behind, right? You would have been on this $100,000, you'd have $750 less. So you'd basically have $3,800 instead of $4,500. And I think everybody would be okay with that. Not a big deal, right? And again, that's how you need to get about losses. It's not a big deal. It's just one loss, right? It's just one loss. So let's take a look at this. So let's go back and let's talk about this bad boy right here that took 55 minutes, 150 total pips for a TP3, 145 pips in drawdown, and a 0.67 loss, or 0.67 in drawdown. So that's what this looks like, right? This would have been the entry on that trade. So you would have put a pending order in your trading software, and whatever time the trade idea comes out, you would open up your trading software, go into your trading software, put in your entry as a pending order. That would be this spot right here, which is 55.35. You would have put in your whatever TP, whatever target profit you decide to go to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you put anything above a 3 on this, you probably would end up losing this, because it turns around. And I'm gonna hit play on this button. I'm gonna hit play on this so you can see how it plays out and where it runs to. So this would have been your target profit here. It turned around and came this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the play button. And you can see how it came up, right? It activated the trade right here. It came into positive, and then it pulled back and hit the 5%. The 5% on this trade would have lost you $537, or basically at 108 pips. So not a huge. And again, this is based, you guys, on a $100,000 account. So let me make sure I'm not talking out of the side of my neck. So if we put in 108 right here, minus 108. So yep. So if it would have been a loss at 5% on a 25,000, or on a 0.12 lot size, you would have lost 129. On a 0.25, you would have lost 270. On a 0.5, you would have lost 540, and on a 1, you would have lost 1,080 on that loss, because you went past your 5% stop loss. You have to be okay with this. You don't want to do this over and over and over. And I can tell you, there's people that, probably some people watching this, that have done funded challenges and have blown their accounts because their stop loss wasn't conservative, right? This is an okay loss. So just want you to understand, when you're looking at this, right, what you're setting yourself up to lose. Now, you could go with a bigger lot size. Again, this is 0.67. And maybe you want to go with a 1%. Right? If you've got a $100,000 account, 1% is $1,000. Are you okay with losing $1,000 on a trade if it draws down to that and hits that point? Now, this was a crazy one, so I'll go ahead and hit the play button. And there you go. It's going up. I'm in profit. Oh, boom. It just hit TP3, and it's going to run up here, and that's as high as it gets, right? And then it comes all the way back down here and hits the stop loss again on the stop loss size. Now, once you hit stop loss, you're done and out. Now, it doesn't mean that if you're sitting in front of your computer and you understand the basics in trading and you understand how to mark up a chart, you could have always got back in right here. You might have taken a $500 loss here, but you also could have waited and said, okay, wait a minute, it just came back in. You could have done a re-entry and just let it run up and got out here. So a little advanced. You don't have to. Some people just want to put in their entry, put in their stop loss, put in their target profit, and just hit the go button and walk away, right? So you can do that if that's something that you want to do. So again, here's just a general idea and example. Again, this is example purposes. I got to throw the earnings disclaimer up here again. We do not guarantee that anybody will make any money trading because a lot of people don't follow the rules. A lot of people don't understand the basics, and they just don't understand the basics. And they may just not have time to trade. You might have come down here, and this might end up being the only trade that you took, and it ends up being a loss, and you're like, dang, But again, you've got to be okay with that loss because you know the wins are coming behind it, right? So we talked about this. Let's jump over to the software. Right, so thinking about that trade that we just looked at, thinking about that trade, if I was going to enter that trade into my trading software, let me pull this trade over here to my other screen, and then I can see what the numbers are. So if I was going to enter that trade on that particular day, and it gets dropped into the trading software, or it gets dropped into the WhatsApp chat and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. The trading software, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to enter a pending order. The entry area was 55.35, right? It's going to be a buy, right? And I'm going to check the little take profit button, and I'm going to go to 55.50, which was my TP3 position, which means when this trade plays out, because I've got a 0.5 lot size down in here, I would have earned $750, right? Because I'm doing a $100,000 funded trading account here, right? And I'm going to check my little stop loss, and I've got my stop loss set at 0.5%. So if it does hit the stop loss, I'm losing $537. If it wins, I'm winning $750. You've got to be okay with these numbers. You've got to be, again, this is a specific trade that we talked about. The other trades didn't get anywhere near stop loss, and they all went, of course, for wins. You'd hit the buy button, and it's off and running again. Do not take this trade. If you're watching this video, this trade is done. It's over with. Don't try to go and take this trade and say, Forrest put out a trade idea and it didn't work. Well, it's not going to work because the trade is over and done with, right? So just understand that. So this is one of the ideas. So when you receive a trade idea, you would come in and you can enter it in your software. The software works exactly the same way on your phone as it does on the computer. It's just laid out a little bit different. You'd hit the go button. And when the trade comes up here, it would hit the pending order. It would run up that way and hit boom, and you're off and running. If it comes to the stop loss, can run down this way and close out, and you would have lost a little bit of money for that day. So this is what I've been running, and I wanted to do the SPX because if you try to give people too much information, they get too confused and it gets overloaded, and they don't put in the right lot size. So I specifically focus on SPX because I like trading that. That's not my new favorite trading girlfriend, right? I really love trading her. And this is the funded challenge that I started on the 26th. When you start a funded challenge on day one, no matter what dollar amount that you get in here, whether it's $1 or $10,000, your 45% rule is not going to work because you're going to be at 100%. Doesn't matter if it's $1 or $1,000 or $5,000, whatever you do on day one is always going to be at 100%. Day two, if you did even numbers, so if you did say 10,000 on this day, and I'm just going to pass it, I'm going to do crazy, I'm not going to listen to Forrest, I'm just going to jump in here, I'm going to do 10,000 on day one. Okay, you got the 10,000. But now you've got to get that 10,000 under 45% for consistency. So day two, you trade another 10,000. You're now 50%. 50% on this day, 50% on this day. The third day you trade at 10,000. You're not 33% for each day. You've gone way over. You traded up to $30,000 and just wasted a bunch of time. You passed phase one. I'm just throwing this out there because some people think like, why don't I just do 10,000, 10,000, 10? Why would you do that? Why not do 3,500, 3,500, 3,500, right? Of course, as you can see, it doesn't always work out that way. So day one, trading $1,300. Day two, $466. Day three, this was NAS, this was US 30, this was what they call a NASDAQ. 100 is $2,300. Then my SPX trades are highlighted. I had a losing day here because I decided I was going to go cheat with my favorite toxic girlfriend, gold, and I did that, and she rolled me under the bus like she usually does, right? So I'm not going to trade gold anymore. I don't know why I have to go out and test it every now and then, but I do. So had a losing day there. Then of course I came back and had a small win here because I traded some Bitcoin, right, which is pretty cool. Got that. And just so you know, every single one of these trades for reference in this challenge was a trade signal that was dropped through our trade ideas, right? Every single, none of these are mine. These are all trade idea signals. And I did this with intention of showing how people can take trade ideas and trade signals and pass a challenge. That's the whole entire point of this. This isn't me trading anything. This is just me going in, putting in a trade idea, taking a trade signal, put it in, watch it go, get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. I took this trade idea here, which was gold. And anyway, I'm just not going to do these anymore. I'm just going to let them go. This Bitcoin trade, which was really, really nice. It was cool. Bitcoin's a weird one. You guys aren't going to get any of these trade signals while you're passing the challenge. You're just going to get SPX. And you can see my SPX trades here are highlighted in yellow, which will still put me at about $5,000 or halfway to the challenge because I've got 2,000, 3,400, 3,600, 4,400 there. So pretty close to being halfway there just on the SPX trades. When the trade ideas start dropping this week, I'll put them in there. And again, the whole goal is to keep each day under 45%. If I have to get it, if I get a really big day, I can move on to the next one. So this is complete transparency in doing this challenge when you're doing the challenge. So let's talk about the cost. I said I'm rolling right through this. We'll have a Q&A here in a minute. So the cost for a funded challenge account. Funded challenge account, $100,000 is $549. When you pass both phases, you get that money back. $25,000 account's $249. A $50,000 account is $349. A $200,000 account is $1,099. I'll send you your enrollment link if you're watching this on YouTube. The link will be in the description. If you're not watching it on YouTube and you have my direct contact information, I will definitely get that for you, right? Receiving trade ideas and signals. So this is part one. You're going to sign up for a funded account, and I want to make sure that you understand this. You will not receive trade ideas if you don't do at least one of these challenges. So if you decide, well, I just want to do a 5,000, I'm not going to give you trade ideas. You're going to have to get them from somewhere else or figure it out on your own. You have to have at least a $25,000 account to take these SPX trades. You're probably still going to mess it up because you're not paying attention. I'm just saying, I'm talking to somebody that's not going to listen and follow the rules. So to receive trade ideas and signals, it's $199 for the first month. It's $149 a month after that. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, let me know. I'll get you the links to get enrolled to make sure you get that. To receive trade ideas, you must be enrolled in at least a $25,000 or greater challenge. You will only receive the SPX 500, aka the S&P 500 signals until you pass your challenge. Then I'll add optional signals in for your NAS 100 and your US 30, which you can be added after completion. Now, if you're currently enrolled in our trading academy and you have an active subscription that covers both the basic and the Platos upgrades, you're all covered here. There's not going to be any additional monthly fees as long as you have an active subscription into our trading academy. If you don't want to enroll in the trading academy, it's $199 for the first month. It's $149 each month after that. If you decide you want to enroll in the trading academy so you can get the trade signals and do all of that kind of stuff and get the actual education, guess what? It's $199 for the first month. It's $149 a month after that. You get enrolled, you're rocking and rolling. This funded account is something completely different outside the academy. You still have to do this. So your first step to get started, if you want to take these trade signals, is purchase a funded account. I'll get you the link so that you have the link to be able to do that. Your next step would be, if you don't want to enroll, if you don't want to enroll into the trading academy, I'll get you a link so that you can get enrolled and get set up so you can receive the trade signals after you get enrolled here. So I need to see this. You'll have to send me proof that you enrolled at one of these levels. Once you've done that, we'll get you set up and I'll start dropping this in. You're going to receive the trade ideas and trade signals through a WhatsApp chat is where they're going to come through. So you'll get them through a WhatsApp chat. We'll get everybody added into a private WhatsApp chat. And again, I think I put those over here. Yep, so this is what you're going to see when you decide that you want to do this. You get both buy and trade signal pending orders. It's up to you which one you want to take. You can take one or both. And again, on a pending order, the trade ideas will not activate until it actually gets to that order that you entered. Putting in your stop losses and everything is completely up to you. So any questions from anybody on the webinar?
How much is it to sign up for the Trading Academy?
It's $199 and then $149
Okay,
a month.
okay.
First month, yeah, the first month's $199, and each month after that's $149.
And then when you do that, do you also get the trade signals?
You can get the trade signals. I mean, you can definitely get the trade signals. If that's something that you want to do, we'll show you how to do that, Dawn. And if you want to use your own brokerage account, again, to be completely transparent, if you already have a broker set up and you just want to, and you don't want to do the funded account and you've got your own money and you want to take those and you enroll into the academy all day long, you'll get those trade ideas. If
Okay.
you don't have, and the whole point of the funded account is for people that don't want to use their own money. They might only have 500 to $1,000 to trade with.
Mhm.
Instead of just using that 500 or 1,000, they use that money to purchase a funded challenge, and then of course, they got now $100,000 to trade with, or 200,000, whatever level, So just got to look at it. How am I going to leverage my money, and what's going to be the best way to do it? But yeah, you'll get the trade signals as long as you're enrolled into the academy. You're going to get the trade signals.
Oh,
So no problem with that at all.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That was a great question.